1963. Kennedy's gone, the Cold War keeps its poker face. 1963. Kennedy's gone, still not over.
Dallas shocks America. Paranoia gets a fresh haircut. Scissors almost get the paranoias to whisper. Structed opposite grow becomes barb.
Secret back-channel diplomacy becomes suddenly trendy. 2 liters, 1 table, and an envelope that definitely isn't for the record. Because apparently, whispering with stationery is the new hotness.
Vietnam simmers, public support starts to crack. On one channel, shouting in the streets. On another, convoys rumbling through the jungle. And in every living room, maps lighting up with ever darker news.
Loud, messy, and annoying as they were to politicians, surprisingly effective. Students packed the streets, drowning out speeches with chants, and the idea spread from campus.
Space is still the flex, but now politics gets an attitude.
Super fancy word for let's not blow up yet. Think of it as the geopolitical equivalent of clinking bubbly and agreeing to keep the nukes in their silos. At least
Nixon visits China. Diplomatic plot twist of the decade. The anti-communist crusader shakes hands with the chairman himself, thawing decades of Cold War chill with one very awkward burp.
SALT talks. We'll count missiles. And then count again.
An undersea cat and mouse continues. Nobody likes leaks.
The press smells détente, sells it like a new car. Meanwhile, everyday life carries on, with fewer mushroom clouds.
Dance schools start teaching Mad, and every student thinks it's a new band they haven't heard of. It's about mutual assured destruction, not the next big tour.
Psst. Intelligence agencies get busier. Cloak and dagger sales spike. Briefcases shuttle secrets, agent headcounts climb, and the world map looks like a dotted line airport guide for trench coats.
By 1973, détente looks promising, until it doesn't.
Proxy wars spread, local fights with superpower sponsorship.
Chile, Angola, Afghanistan, proxy bingo gets intense.
Oil shocks hit economies. Everyone learns the word stagflation. If she did not guess to sklap a heart to sklasher in a Lamblin, she's smart for a tournament.
Refugee crises, reshape borders, and headlines. People moving. Refugee crises, reshape borders,
death squads, and revolutions. Ugly scenes, messy outcomes. The crisis conflict, ugly scenes.
Journalists risk everything. Some stories change minds.
Terrorism emerges as a terrifying new headline act. Terrorism keeps city United States. Terrorism display has a terrifying new headline act.
Secret arms deals become a very boring national sport. Mechanical, boring books. Anything that a front plane.
Solidarity movements rise. Workers, students, citizens unite.
Race is well named with all. Eastern Europe simmers. Dissidents nibble at the edges. Pamphlets the map that the edges were disposed.
Intelligence gets creative. Gadgets, bugs, and double agents.
Suits. Superpowers fund proxies, then act surprised when things go sideways. Then chaos. Surprised?
Religion and ideology mix, complicating conflict further.
Humanitarian groups try to patch the holes. Thankless work. Relief drop into a history and groups of humanitarian aid by field work. Listening for the first time.
By 1980, proxy wars have scarred continents and politics.
Enter Reagan. Cowboy rhetoric. Big promises. Loud suits.
The doctrine changes. Roll back, don't just contain.
Afghanistan becomes the USSR's Vietnam, brutal and costly. Supply lines grind through frozen mountains while guerrillas pick them off one convoy at a time. Years in, they're still stuck.
Buses. Covert aid flows. Stingers. Cash. And very awkward alliances.
Economics choke the USSR. Central planning hits the wall.
Oil price dips sting Moscow's wallet pretty badly. Those barrels lose their value, and suddenly the Kremlin's cash register stops ringing like it used to.
Butter military spending. Budget balloons like crazy. Budget balloons like crazy.
Build Star Wars, Strategic Defense Initiative, sci-fi or distraction. In 1983, Washington pitched a space-based laser umbrella to zap incoming nukes before they'd ruin the Recon. It's conditioned with a gun of brinkmanship. Conditioned also has heated detent.
Nuclear freeze movements demand sanity, and pop culture actually listens. From campus lawns to beachside stages, guitars and congas get louder than warheads.
Arms deals and scandals. Think Iran, Contra. Make messy headlines.
Proxy fighting keeps burning. Ideology's toll grows.
Women's living, citizens in the USSR grumble. Shortages bite hard. For Mogren Habo, the US broadcast won't solve.
Pressure builds inside Soviet politics. Something's gotta give. By mid-80s, the stage is set for a very unexpected intermission.
Gorbachev arrives. Spectacles. Reform words. Big expectations.
Glasnost. Openness. People start saying things out loud.
Up. Perestroika. Restructure. But money and politics don't mix nicely.
Eastern Bloc citizens cheer. Finally, windows open.
Walls start to wobble, both literal and institutional.
(1989) Berlin's wall comes down. Selfie sticks optional.
Ripple. Warsaw. Prague. Budapest. Change is viral.
Capitalism is open. State shops shuffle awkwardly into capitalism.
Hardliners panic, reformers push, tug of power ensues. One side clinging to the status quo, the other yanking for change, and everyone else watching the rope fray in the middle.
1991. Coup fails, but the clock has already run out.
Soviet Union is dissolved. A superpower quietly fades on paper.
New countries emerge. Old maps get a major makeover.
People taste freedom, but price tags come with it.
Leaders scramble to adapt and to avoid chaos.
By 1991, the Cold War's dramatic final act closes.
What now? Superpowers shrink. The world gets messy. In new ways.
23%. Well, honest, shock therapy isn't as fun as it sounds. Transition economy, he sounds executives as they pause water.
Information flow explodes. Truth and noise spread alike.
War crimes, tribunals, and reckonings come into play. Reckonings. There are no seasons to ensure the memorials. How? International.
Space cooperation slowly replaces space rivalry. Satellites for science.
New conflicts flare, old ones smolder, proxy dynamics continue. In the Wendling make Ultra once, at the printing things don't take believe.
History classes add Cold War lessons. Now with more context.
Files leak, myths get politely corrected. That famous monster at Loch Ness? Turns out it's a goose, casting a dramatic shadow and sipping herbal tea. You're welcome, Scotland. Case closed.
No. We did what we had to.
Still figuring out why.
Something breaks, but you keep going. You just do. I came home, but part of me stayed over there.
Veterans and victims share stories, memories.
New powers rise, old alliances reforge for new threats, trade surges, treaties ink, and neighbors previously allergic to one another suddenly discover they like profit more than grudges. The board keeps moving, so watch the arrow.
Technology changes warfare. Cyber replaces some old tricks.
The nuclear shadow remains. Deterrence is still a language. This year of the world's nuclear shadow until the deterrence changed its lessons.
Cultural exchange heals slowly. Music, art, and people travel. From border handshakes to backstreet jams, every note is a thread, every festival a stitch. And stitched together, whole new...
Lessons learned? Some. Repeated mistakes? Also some.
From missiles to markets, the Cold War reshaped the modern world.